Well, here we go. SAFC Fan TV back again. And today I want to say thanks to George from the Hastings Hill Pub Hotel. It's not a hotel, is it? It's the Hastings Hill Pub for the great grub downstairs and letting us use this room today to make this video. But for the Sunday lunch, I've got two lads here, got expert opinion on the Sunday lunch. Just bought a Sunday lunch downstairs in the Hastings Hill. What was it like?
Unbelievable.
Really nice.
Very nice. Best dinner, probably the best dinner in Sunderland.
What was the price like?
That was alright.
Reasonable
price.
So 10 out of 10 for the food.
Oh, definitely.
Staff as well.
Staff friendly, very friendly.
There's
Lovely
your endorsement and advertisement.
There you go, absolutely
So if you're
fantastic.
in the area, get a dinner. You'll not be
I
disappointed.
came from Shields to have a dinner, to try
Oh,
it, and
there
I
you go.
definitely,
That's dedication.
definitely have
The
another one.
quality there must be there.
Before we get started, I was going to say it's not such a sexy panel this weekend, the sexy bunch, but we've got Dean on the end, Dean Elgar, the new lad replacing Jacob, and he's a sexy lad, so it is a sexy bunch there. And I want to give a shout out to Sean here, the man on the canvas for the SAFC Fan TV, doing a great job doing the interviews down at the away, the away matches, the home matches. I mean, if Jeff Stalin out there is watching Sky Sports when Sunderland get back in the Premiership. When you go, you're roaming around your grounds to different reporters. This bloke should be on Sky Sports. What a fantastic reporter. And the cameraman, Dean, on the end there. And don't forget Michael here.
Oh, yeah,
His
I'm here,
own
by the way.
vlogs, straight after the match. No holds barred. Get onto his channel, watch his YouTube channel, watch the
Please
feeling
subscribe.
straight away, the
God.
feeling after the match.
Don't subscribe, you know what's good for you.
Fantastic. Yes, subscribe to Michael. So, yesterday's analysis of the match, a great 3-1 away victory at Accrington Stanley. And we'll start with Michael. What's your thoughts on the game?
It was funny because I was with these two in the car there and back. Great journey, by the way. But honestly, I think that the game is, it started great, didn't it? Going 1-0 down within 5 minutes, and no clean sheet again. But fair play to the guys. They responded well. Got a goal back within, I think, 90 seconds. I think that's what the stat was. It was something like that. From going behind, and then obviously all the goals were good. Like the Gooch's bicycle kick, McGeady's curled shot, and then I was particularly impressed with Maguire. I think I've said it numerous times, the way that he ran towards the defender, anticipated a sliding tackle, avoided it, held off another man, and fed McNulty. Other than that, the game wasn't particularly great, especially second half, but 3 points is 3 points though, so can't complain.
Michael, what was your thoughts on the goal that we let in? Was anybody at fault, or was it just a superb goal?
It was a mixture. I was actually debating putting this on social media, asking it, but I didn't bother to. I think Clark got ahead of Willis a bit too easily, and McLaughlin's positioning wasn't exactly very good. But I don't know whether it's just because Accrington just simply wanted it that much to go and score. Because you could tell that for Accrington that goal was probably everything for them. And that's not disrespectful, by the way, because they're going to raise their game. But yeah, I mean, we need, if we're going to do anything this year, we need to start keeping clean sheets.
Definitely. Dean, your thoughts on the match? You were there?
I was there. Like you say, 1-0 down. And to be honest, I thought it was really bad defending. It was a route one ball. I don't know if it was Oztek or Willis. It was a communication error, clearly.
Okay.
And
Definitely.
their player was just quick enough to get past the defender, took it around the keeper and slotted it in. And I was like, oh, not again. Not again. And that just shows we've still got frailties at the back. We're not quick enough. We lack pace in defence. Hopefully Lynch will come in and might sort that out. But there's still something wrong with the defence. But it was a good response by the lads. Came back, Gooch's goal. I do give Gooch a lot of criticism because I think he's been poor. But what a goal.
Great
Bicycle
goal,
kick.
wasn't it?
Amazing. Then McGeady, do what McGeady does. Puts a top corner. I think he scored in every game against Accrington.
Every game that's been completed since last year. So he scored the 2-2, the 3-0, 3-1. Yeah, it's good. The last 3 times he's got the one city.
That's a good record against one team. And then the last goal was really nice build-up play, counter-attack. Maguire cuts in, lays it off McNulty, tap in. It was just. But second half, to be honest, I thought it was boring. I was really bored watching the game. I thought it was a typical Jack Ross. Don't take any risks. But we got 3 points, and that's exactly what all that matters. Even if it's a bad performance second half, we reacted well and got 3 points, and I'm happy.
Yeah, Sean.
I think, to be fair, I don't think it was a great game. I just think, like Michael was saying, I think it was just 3 bits of quality what won the game. I mean, Denver Hume, I'd give him a lot of stick, but he done well, crossed it over, and a great finish by Gooch. The volley, excellent finish. Obviously, the McGeady, the second goal, great finish in the top left. And then obviously Maguire done class. Obviously skinned his defender, crossed it to McNulty, not put in. I think George Jobson coming in, I think that was a plus in the side. But overall, I mean, it wasn't great, but it's 3 points. That's the way you got to look at it. Obviously, if you're not playing very well and you're getting 3 points, that was positive.
It is. I thought, to be honest, I thought early days when they scored that goal, I thought it was a fantastic ball from out of defence for them. I mean, how far did that ball travel? It caught our defence on the back foot. Yeah, I mean, our defence was high, caught us on the back foot. Sometimes you just got to sit back and say it was a fantastic goal, nothing you can do about it. Yeah. Great finish under that, took the ball down really well, got past our defenders and put the ball in the back of the net. It was a superb goal, but we responded really well. Like Michael says, getting a goal back in 90 seconds, absolutely fantastic. I mean, personally, I thought all of the two of the goals, McGeady's goal and Maguire's goal, was bad defending from Ackroyd and Stanley. They sort of basically give it to Aidan McGeady. He was by himself. You don't want to give Aidan McGeady chances outside just inside the box. He's going to put those away. Absolutely fantastic. Second half, like I said, typical Jack Ross. I don't know whether it's the team in the collectiveness to sit back and want to defend, or whether Jack Ross is saying, look, that's it, we've won the game 3-1, let's hold on. If Ackroyd and Stanley had scored a second goal, we would have been under pressure second half.
Oh yeah,
I think they would have came
close. They hit the bar. People forget every time they went forward. I was scared because I thought their pace was a lot better than ours. And they hit the bar. Luckily, Ozturk reacted and got it and cleared it, but I was really scared every time they were going forward. They were making chances all the time.
Do you see how big their number 36 looked? It was a tank. He was like 6'8". I know, honestly. Can't remember what his name is, so any Accrington fans watching, correct me on that. But yeah, it was...
So, do you know, like, obviously going about the second half, like, obviously we're winning 3-1, and I'm thinking, me and you were talking half time, I think we can get 4, 5, 6 here, you know what I mean?
All right.
What does Jack Ross see at half time? Does he see, look, we're winning 3-1, didn't Dean out stupid.
He probably
just done again past it, just keep the ball and keep it tight. Me, if I was the manager, I'd be saying, look, like Peterborough, bang 6 in. You know what I mean? Rather than bang 6 in. You know what I mean? You've got to be ruthless, haven't you?
Mind you, in saying that, maybe Ross just said to them at half time, look, you've gone too far forward in the first half. Yeah. We've scored one extra goal than we need to. We're 1-2-1s, we want 1-1 draws, man.
Sometimes you've got to feel for Jack Ross is in a no-win situation. If he gets a victory like that, people are complaining because they want more goals. But if he goes for more goals, he ends up getting 3s apiece or 3s a peach. Then he's under pressure with his job. He's under, no matter what game he plays, Jack Ross is under pressure. It's a big it's a massive team, Sunderland Football Club, massive ground, massive stadium, massive club, massive fan base. So regardless at this moment in time what Jack Ross does, he's always going to be on the back foot until he gets a good run going, until we put our stamp down and really beat one of the good sides convincingly. I mean, Peterborough yesterday 6-0. We played Rotherham on Tuesday. They won 6-1 against Bolton. So if we're always conceding goals, Dean, what's your perfect defence? Which forward do you put out? How can we stop the goals from leaking in?
The four on this panel would make the best defence.
I'm useless.
One problem straight away, getting United at right back. He's not a right back. He's not a right back.
He's not?
Put him in midfield, give him a go. Every time he played midfield last season, he either scored and he made a nuisance for himself. He's not a right back. No. There's one problem straight away. You need a
solid right back,
proper defenders, and we've got McLaughlin there. Give him a chance.
At right back,
and then in your centre back, Willis has to be in there definitely. If the Ozturk partnership isn't working, get Lynch fit. Try him, and if not, we've definitely got a centre back problem. That's where it could lie. Left back has to be Hume because.
I thought he was all right yesterday, wasn't he?
He assisted Gooch's goal.
Quality cross.
I wasn't at the game, Dean, so does Hume go forward a lot and does he leave the back door open or does he track back really well?
I think he tracks back well, but against a better team, he might get found out. Obviously, Accrington don't have the best quality, so he gets away with it a little bit. Yeah. But going forward, I thought he was a lot more going forward than going defence. But he needs to balance it out and when to go forward, not always go forward.
Like you see it, that longs the block. Is he gonna come in? Do you think, or do you think
you've got to give him a chance? You can't loan someone and not play them. Right. Do you know what I mean? Give him a chance in the cup and see what he's about. Yeah. But if he doesn't, like you see, he's not match fit, is he?
So, right. Once he gets match fit, I mean, is he going to slot in there? Because I was talking to a guy yesterday in an interview, and he was obviously Denver Hume's pal, and he says, I think Denver Hume will be the left back for the season. I'm not too certain about that. Like,
what's your perfect form? Yeah, Sean.
Well, obviously, Lovins the bot. I think he'll come in left back eventually. And I think Joel Lynch will come in as well. And I think Jordan Willis and right back. It's got to be Conor McLaughlin. I wouldn't play it 1-9 right back. I mean, yesterday watching the game, I was looking at each other and he's made a few mistakes yesterday, didn't he? Right back.
It was always on the back post, wasn't it? He always had to run out, and it was causing him problems.
I mean, like you say, he's had a few assists and he's good going forward, but he's not a defender. You know what I mean? If there's a weakness in our back four, unfortunately it's him. I think I would say it's him.
09 was when he put there. He wasn't getting his game, and obviously Jack Ross has said, "Will you go right back?" He says, "Yeah." And he kept Matthews out of the team. And now do you think 09's thinking, if I go out with right back, am I going to get in centre mid? I don't want to be on the bench anymore. I like playing.
That's a good point. That's a fair point. I mean, like you see, 09 wasn't getting the team before, and then maybe Jack Ross has said, look, I'll play him there, and he's tried him there, and he said, well, I'm getting games here. I mean, so if I'm getting games, I'm not really bothered. But I think if you push him up further forward, maybe he's in the Gooch role. You know what I mean? Because I know when you said about Gooch, I wouldn't think he's the greatest player that he tries to do too much. But I think 09 in that Gooch role could do a job.
Give it a try. You never know.
Michael, your thoughts on the defence? Who would you play?
Right, okay. I'm waiting for a disagreement between me and Sean here. I've said I'm actually quite a big fan of Denver Hume. I think that he gets up and down the pitch when he's playing a full back, as I've said countless times, not as a wing back, a full back. He gets up and down the line quite well. If there's one criticism of him, is that he keeps on trying to hoof the ball long all the time. And you've either got McGeady, who's like probably mid 5 foot, something like that, and Gooch is a midget, so he's got to be probably a little bit more intelligent than that. But at the end of the day, as a defender, as part of a back four, if your instinct is you're not sure what to do, get rid of it. Get it up and down the pitch, just get away the danger. Okay. Centre backs, I think the two at the minute are fine as they are. And at right back, everyone's probably seen and sick of me saying this. I'm not Conor McLaughlин's biggest fan so far, but obviously I really want him to prove me wrong. I just think that if you look at Rochdale in particular, I know formations haven't helped him. Jack Ross hasn't helped him in that regard, but he just for me, he has not looked convincing in a single game that I think he's played. So by default, I'd much rather have 09 right back, even though what Dean was saying was actually quite a valid point. There was a couple of times when Atkin went forward, but 09 was too far up the pitch and got caught out of position. But if that's the case, that's down to the club to have not brought in a better right back in the summer. For me, I would have probably wanted Matthews to have another goal, but again, if he left because he didn't get the money he wanted, then we couldn't have kept him really. But for me, the back four as it is, by default, is probably what I'd want to see. I mean, De Bock, obviously, there's a lot of Leeds fans that aren't particularly enthusiastic about him. But they've only seen him play 7 games, so how can you reach a definitive opinion on someone after 7 games? Everyone does well at different clubs. Just because he didn't do well at Leeds doesn't mean he's not going to do well here. But for the moment, I'd keep the back four as it is, as a long-winded answer.
Well, I'm a massive Dobson fan, so what's your thoughts on Dobson? Did he play a good game yesterday?
I thought he did. I thought he tried to get forward very well. I think he had energy. I think the problem is, and obviously before, well, including Peterborough, when we got a drubbing 3-0, we played Ledbetter in power, didn't we? Yeah. That's probably the slowest. That might be the slowest midfield in the league. So Dobson instantly adds a bit of energy, presses higher up the pitch, gets us forward a bit quicker. I think you could play one of Ledbetter or Power with Dobson. My personal preference is Power, but either way, you could play one of them if you have Dobson there. I think Dobson's industrious. I think he gets about the pitch really well. He tries to make tackles in. He really presses. He leaves nothing short on the pitch. So I'm quite a big fan of Dobson. What I've seen so far.
He's got a fantastic haircut, mate. Great, isn't it? Looks really cool. Dobson looked really cool. Like me when I was younger.
Dobson, how much time do you spend greasing that thing? He's
got the greenish look.
It looks like he put soap.
He's got the greenish look about him.
He must put the towers in jelly in that hair.
Did he?
Alright, super cool. Thoughts on Dobson, lads?
Sure. I thought he played really well. I thought, like Mike was saying, I thought he's energy. He's box to box. He gets around, and you kind of play. You can't play Power and Ledbetter. You know what I mean? You've got to maybe play Ledbetter and Dobson, or Power and Dobson. I think Dobson can get up and down the pitch. You know what I mean? He's got loads of energy, and I think that was a big plus for me yesterday, bringing Dobson in. What does Max? I think we were discussing this. What does Max Power bring to our team? What do you think?
It's not what he brings, it's what kind of midfielder is he? We know Ledbetter as the holding player. We know Dobson's a box-to-box player. But what's Power?
To me, though, Power's going to be Power's a quicker version of Ledbetter, though, except without the set pieces, because I think. Well, I'm just thinking of Power. It gets around the pitch quicker. He tackles the same way Ledbetter does. Ledbetter tackles, and then he's like that level pace. He's like, and that's probably down to his age, to be fair.
Power's a good replacement for Ledbetter, isn't he?
I think he is.
Yeah. Everyone's forgetting.
I'm waiting for Dean to fire the cannons.
Everyone's forgetting about the one missing person, Dylan McGeoch. Everyone's forgetting about him. Everyone rates him, but he's not playing.
I really rate him as well.
See, to me, I like McGeoch, but I don't think he's miles better than what we got.
I don't know.
But then again, I don't know whether it's because the type of game that you're playing. If you're going to play in a game where you're allowed to dictate possession, then McGeoch probably, don't get me wrong, McGeoch's got his uses. He's good at recycling the ball and getting it simple passes out wide. I've seen Power and Cattermore last season do that.
Well, just make it better yesterday because we thought it was Power. Like,
I
I thought
thought
it
he
was
was
Power.
sloppy.
I
He
thought
was
really
really sloppy.
Power in possession, Power off the ball, Power with the ball. I just thought I thought you had a really bad game.
Well, here you go. If Ledbetter's captain, is Jack was going to play him regardless now? Like
Honeyman, that's a thing again. That's, you know what I mean, with the captain
Well,
thing.
the funny thing was he took Ledbetter off and he brought McGeoch on. So obviously, because you would think you'd take Dobson off because obviously Ledbetter's his captain.
Aye.
And he brought McGeoch on, and it might have been good for Ledbetter because we don't want the same what happened with Honeyman last season.
So who took the armband? Did you say?
I was outside.
I didn't actually say no.
I was outside.
But on Dobson though, I think he showed a lot of experience because he got a yellow card early on in the second half and the first half.
Aye.
And he was still putting tackles in, but he showed experience not to.
He timed them well, didn't he?
Yeah, he was.
You know,
And
I mean, he's played over 100 games for Walsall.
He's not.
He's played over 100 seasons.
He's not the quickest, but he's very effective in what he does.
Good engine, doesn't he?
I would honestly love to see 09 and Dobson because they both got a bag of energy, and I think them because they've got like a little bromance going, haven't they? When, when they have that,
Spice Boys.
when people have that going, they play well together. So why not even try? Even in a cup game, try them and see what happens.
They've got 2 gelled haircuts as well, so that makes a difference. Like, they look really quality.
Like,
I mean, I can see what Dean says though. If you're playing him, it depends. But again, it depends on the system you play. I think that if you had a midfield 3, I think if you had someone like McGeoch, one of McGeoch, Power, or Ledbetter, but just for argument's sake, McGeoch, and had 09 and Dobson, that could be a good combination.
That would work well. I think
that could be a good combination.
Because the thing about our centre mids, they don't run past the strikers, and people must think like this. Their centre mids must think, well, he's not going to run past me. He's just going to go side by side with series. But if you've got someone like Dobson 09 running past, and everyone knows no one likes chasing somebody. No one likes it, but if they're in front of you, they're like, oh, this is easy. If I go and push him down, he's just going to go sideways.
So that's what I mean. We rely on width a lot to go forward, don't we?
We rely on McGeady too much.
I've got no pace in our team. Like, we've got no pace.
We are a slow team, and we're not a very physical team, and we haven't got much height either.
Right. And our set pieces, when there's a corner or a free kick next to the box, you're thinking could be, you know what I mean, all the time you think there could be a goal there, for the height and stuff and like physicality and stuff.
So Michael, yesterday we criticised Jack Ross's substitutions. What were they like?
I thought they were effective, but I think that how many subs did we make? Was it 2 or 3? I know we definitely made 2, but I don't know if we made.
Greg came on.
Greg came on for Maguire, and if I'm right, I think that McKeoch came on for Ledbetter, but I can't remember if anyone else came on.
I don't think either.
Either way, those 2 subs specifically, I thought they worked well. Like I said, I think one thing that, like I said before, the thing that Ledbetter does, he recycles possession and just keeps the game calm. And in a situation where you're trying to see, we were seeing out the game second half, weren't we? We weren't really overly enthusiastic to go for more goals, which I can kind of understand. Like McGeoch would be, and especially because Ledbetter would have been tiring. He's 33 years of age now, so like early 30s. So I think McGeoch does that part of the game really, really well. And I was actually pleased to see Grigg come on, and I was devastated that he didn't score, actually.
He missed a good chance, didn't he?
Yeah, just because I thought that was a time where Akron are going to push forward. And I think if there's a time for Will Grigg to get a goal, it's like here. When you're up against someone who even a couple of their fans said to me before the game, they're not very good defensively. So that would have been a chance for Grigg to really go and get himself a goal at least. But the subs, for what they were, I agreed with them at the time, personally.
Man of the match, lads, what do you think?
Dobson for me.
Yeah, Dobson is up there. Like you say, McNulty runs round, he's a nuisance. But Dobson was up there, he was very composed, he got a yellow card and he showed a lot of experience for a young lad. So Dobson definitely up there, like.
Michael?
I think it's Dobson. It's a mixture of Dobson and McGeady for me. McGeady was you could tell he's got too much quality, but in terms of overall performance throughout the 90 minutes, I probably would agree with Dean. I'll probably go with Dobson. He's itching to say something.
I thought our front three were quite quiet. Apart from the 3 quality goals, I thought we didn't
second half they were
nothing
really quiet, and you can't really take the foot off the pedal against even like lesser teams like Akron because they can punish you. Nothing's given in this league. Anyone can beat you.
Well, like Mad Mistake said, that if Accrington because they had a couple of half chances second half, if one of them had gone in, then 3-2, I would have backed them to probably get a point because we would have sat back even more and we would have been really, really nervous. So, but yeah, if I had to go man of the match, I'd probably say Dobson.
Did McNulty look fitter, sharper?
I thought he looked a lot sharper. Like mainly the Peterborough game, he just looked off the pace. I thought yesterday he was chasing everything down. He's running across. He looked fit. He looked a lot fitter yesterday.
Was everybody a Jack Ross fan again now? They're not.
No.
Thoughts on Jack Ross? Everybody, Dean?
I'm still on the fence. I'm not for ones for getting rid of managers. it takes seasons upon seasons to build a squad, and he's still in that phase. He's just getting rid of all the big earners. And I don't know if I want to use this as an excuse, but I want to ask you this. Are Sunderland still in a transition phase? Because Man United used that for years. And as a club, we fell so far. We've changed cultures again from buying foreign players. Now we're a League One team. We're buying players who actually want to wear the badge. Are we still in a transition phase?
I think in terms... Go on, John.
I think it's just a case of that's just excuses. I think obviously like last season, and the deal didn't get up, we failed. People just use things as an excuse, and in the day we weren't good enough.
But is it an excuse because at the end of the day, there's still things going on and off the pitch that take over.
You could approach it. You could approach it one of two ways. I think that if you argued that in the Championship season, I wouldn't have had it, because I think that you had Ndong, Kone, Catamol. You had I was going to say the keepers, but no, none of them were good, were they? You had Graben. You had McNair, you had McManaman, McGeady. There was loads of players there that should have finished well above 21st.
But half of them didn't want to be there.
Do you think that?
No, but then that's an attitude problem, then, isn't it? It's not the fact they weren't good enough. It was an attitude. Anyway, the point I was going to make was that season I wouldn't have had it. I think last year, to a point, I do get with what Dean's saying, because as much as I still thought it was a failure not to go up. You had to change a culture of losing, of players that, in my opinion, didn't try hard enough for the badge. You can't get rid of that overnight, and that is something that Jack Ross did well last year. But this season, we really should not be in a transitional season. For me, we've got the players to go out there and beat a majority of teams, and to be honest, beat a majority of them quite comfortably. But whether that's down to Jack Ross's way of thinking, his
negative tactics,
so for me, I can kind of get what Dean's getting at. I just think for this season, we shouldn't be. We might be, but we shouldn't be.
You've got to think we got rid of Oviedo, big earner, bags of experience. We got rid of Catamol. Novalida, bags of experience, and like losing them, it was.
I'll agree with you on Catamol. I don't think Oviedo's performances were good enough last year
for the
wages that Oviedo was on. He should have been the best left back in that league. The best full back by a mile, by ahead of everybody else, and he didn't deliver it.
Disappointing money.
Catamol I think is someone that we'll miss, but. For Oviedo, no. For me personally, no.
Oviedo had a good hairstyle as well, didn't he? He was quite flashy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
That's
yeah,
what
he
did.
Do you just
think last season, obviously, our squad was good enough to go up last season?
Yeah, definitely.
So therefore,
definitely.
It was the manager's fault.
I mean, like I said, you know what? Someone said it's down to everybody, because at the end of the day, players can bottle it on big occasions, and we didn't turn up in the games we needed to turn up, and that comes down to players.
Look at the best examples. Remember when we beat Rochdale in April, and we were level on points with Barnsley, like a slightly worse goal difference, but we had 2 games in hand. To not go up from that position is embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased that Jack Ross has come up this week and said he doesn't want to stop the games for international breaks again. He wants to use the squad and actually.
Yeah, then he postpones the Burton game. Yeah. When we've got Lee Burge now, the keeper, and cover McLaughlin.
But I think since then he said that's it.
He's not going to do any more.
I think the point I did make, to be fair, I will stick up for Ross here a little bit. I think that Burton had a couple of players that wanted to postpone the game as well. So even if we wanted the game to go ahead, that might very well have been still called off.
We don't be playing catch up again like
we don't.
Last season, that was one of the reasons. I mean, the cup runs, the check trade, that affected us. The cancellations of the games, international. You know what I mean? That affected us because I think at one point there were 4 or 5 games behind the rest of them. Yeah. I'd rather the points on the board.
But did you see what Pompey did last weekend though? Because Pompey was supposed to play Bury. I think it was yesterday.
Bury.
No, it was yesterday. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Whenever this goes out the weekend, and they played Norwich under. I think it's Norwich under 21s in the EFL Trophy. So for me, last week we could have probably done that. We have Leicester's under 21s. We probably could have
postponed for some reason, wasn't it?
Bury. It was Bury.
What it was?
They were playing Bury.
No, yesterday it was Bury, because obviously we know what's happened there. But Portsmouth played one of their EFL Trophy games. So for me, we probably could have done that last week.
What I'm saying is that one of our games in that Leasing.com Cup. Yeah, that was postponed, wasn't it? That was supposed to be playing last week because it'll come on Sky Sports saying it's on, but obviously off the website.
Yeah, I only found out like a day before that it was off.
So why was that called off? Was that called off because of us or the team we were playing against?
I have no idea.
It was an ideal situation to play a match then, wasn't it?
Get the kids in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big Jack Ross fan. Clearly, I want him to succeed, regardless of what anybody thinks. I mean, I will criticise people because that's my job. I do it. Not much of a job, like, but if they're playing badly,
enough, man.
As a Sunderland fan, I want Sunderland to get promoted this season, full stop. We don't get promoted, Jack Ross out, simple as. But I want him to succeed. I think Dean says we don't want managers to get sacked left, right and centre. We want Jack Ross to succeed, but at the end of the day, it's on his shoulders. He puts the team out, team doesn't perform, he's got to change the side, simple as. And I'm happy Sunderland won. All Sunderland fans are happy that the team wins. Do you think now, after that result yesterday, we're going to be promoted by Easter?
No, definitely not.
Because I know
Definitely
somebody
not.
called Wee Fiddy thinks we're going to be promoted by Easter.
Definitely not.
We've got to hold him to that, by the way. We've got to judge him to that standard.
I think. Go on, Michael. Sorry.
I was just to touch on managers thing because did any of you see last night the Sun story that broke out?
Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, we know for a fact. I know for a fact the Sun's not the most creditable, so I don't really believe it. But would it test you? Actually, I'll ask you this, man. Would it test your resolve for Jack Ross if Big Sam wanted to come back?
At the end of the day,
this is if, by the way,
if the takeover does take place next week, which hopefully it will this week, and if they want somebody in, it's not much we can do about it.
No,
if they want their own manager in.
There was a rumour going round, and I don't know if it's true. It was just a rumour. They're trying to arrange a compensation package for Jack Ross and his background staff before the
to go for Big Sam.
Is there restriction
Is there going to be anything in?
I don't know. It's probably just a rumour, Mike. I'm just,
I mean, I can't imagine Sam Allardyce coming to Sunderland for a small wage.
Exactly.
So there's got to be a restriction on the wages for managers as well.
He's one of the highest earning managers in the league, wasn't he? For years and years and years, because he was good at what he done.
Yeah.
And I think that when we lost Allardyce, that's when we fell. If we kept Allardyce, we would not be in the situation we're in now.
That's when it went. That's when it went
Yeah, exactly.
That's
when it went downhill. But I think the FA that season they really shafted Sunderland Football Club. Like,
so if
like
Sunderland are promoted by Easter or do get promoted this season, next season, and Sam Allardyce is available, would you take Sam Allardyce and get rid of Jack Ross?
In an absolute heartbeat.
Obviously,
100%.
Obviously, anyone would, but that would really look bad on Sunderland Football Club for getting rid of a manager, for getting promoted to get rid of him for Sam Allardyce.
No, that's a fair point. Jack Ross, you could argue Jack Ross does deserve the chance to.
Do you not think? I mean, Jack Ross in the Championship.
Should we just sit back and watch this?
Well, we won't know. We wouldn't know because we wouldn't give him that chance. Obviously, a load of people would say. A lot of people would say take Sam Allardyce, obviously, because he's Big Sam, and obviously we love him. Mm-hmm. But we would never know what Jack Ross would do if we got rid of him. But it looks bad on the football club.
The reason I would have said I'd have took
getting rid of someone for success. Everyone said that about Leicester when Ranieri.
I mean, the reason I'd have said I'd have taken Big Sam is, and obviously, by the way, look, I don't for 1 second believe this is true. It's the Sun, for God's sake.
Yeah,
the Sun don't usually have any substance to them. But I do think the reason I would have said if the opportunity was there, if we were in the Championship and Big Sam wanted to come back, I'd have said yes because, well, especially if you get promoted to the Premier League, there's hardly anyone you can better have than Sam Allardyce. 100%. I'm only thinking of that in terms of like years into the future.
Yeah.
But like
personally,
no, go on.
Personally, I'm loyal. I'm a loyal supporter, and if Jack Ross gets us promoted this season, he deserves one season in the Championship. That's just my personal opinion.
I agree.
No,
you wouldn't disagree.
You wouldn't. No, I just think that I just don't think he's good enough to manage at that level. Like,
you know what? I'd love for I'd love for him to prove you wrong.
I'd love to for him to
Right. So the weekly mention of Marcus Maddison. Anyone see his goal yesterday for Peterborough? Absolutely fantastic, wasn't it?
It's one of them players you just wish you had in your team, didn't you? You know, I mean, we wish just pay 2.6 and get him. Yeah. He'll be gone in January. Championship every day of the week. Yeah. But on Peterborough, Ivan Toney scored 3 goals. Shouldn't even be playing him. Like, I'm not being funny. Yeah. If you want to send a message out to players who play at all the time, they do it in the Premier League all the time. When someone goes out, like look at the Bamford when he went down, got the player sent off. He got banned for 5 matches? Mm-hmm. Why hasn't that happened to Ivan Toney? Mm-hmm. If the rules were reversed and it was 09 who'd done that, would he be get banned for that? Ivan Toney should have not played. He should have at least 3-game ban for what he done. Because at the end of the day,
cheating the referee, isn't it?
It's cheating the referee. No. Of course it is. It's simulation.
Yeah. So is it like a neglection of AFL? Because if that was a Premier League match, he probably would have been banned, wouldn't he?
Is it because it's just Peterborough? Exactly. No one cares about League One teams, and do you know what I mean? But it's shocking. I'm not being funny. When that gets rescinded, Ivan Toney should get the ban straight away. And for me, EFL made a massive mistake. They're making mistakes all over the place. What happened with Bury should never be allowed to happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Ivan Toney should be banned. Sorry, like he said to Grant Letterberg, I felt a touch. You kidding me?
You went down like a bag of shite.
What do
you think about that? Do you agree?
I said he should have been banned straight away. The EFL are so soft at this moment in time. They don't give a shit what's going on. Mm-hmm. And that's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Where's Nathan when you need him? Where's Nathan when you need him?
He should have been banned for at least 5 games. You've got to make make a stance on this crap, man. It's unbelievable. This wouldn't happen in women's football. Just pathetic, man. It should have been banned all day long.
Let it out, man.
Michael, your thoughts on it?
That was one of the bus there. No, agreed. I mean, like what Dean said was spot on. I think that Ivan Toney was. I mean, I think I listened to another podcast last week, and I think that the EFL had determined that there was some contact, and that there was enough, to make the foul, enough contact for him to go down, rather.
Enough.
But
Fingernail.
Yeah,
you hit him on the shoulder.
I know that's probably what it is, but like it's ridiculous. Like Dean said, if the rules were reversed and if it was Luke O'Nien who'd gone down, conned the referee into sending Ivan Toney off, would Luke O'Nien's ban be? Would he be banned? Would he be banned rather? He'd probably be. It's ridiculous. And I'm not going to try and for 1 second claim that the EFL's against Sunderland, even though it probably is. But Dean's right though. No one gives a shit about League 1 and 2. It's a shame.
Oh, Sean.
It's a shame.
I just thought they were trying to take that part out of the game, like people cheating, diving, meeting.
Like it's professional. It's professional pride and integrity. Like, do you really get pride out of trying to cheat your way to a win?
Do you reckon they didn't ban him because it was already 3-0 and it wasn't like a defining moment in the game?
Like,
say if it was 1-1 and he'd done that in the box.
That may very well have been a factor. Because I mean, that's the only thing that I think more Sunderland fans aren't annoyed about this. Because if that was 1-1 or even at 1-0, and that red card affected the outcome of the game, we'd probably be more livid than what we were.
Well, let's face it, you're 3-0 up. And you play act like that. What kind of person is Ivan Toney doing that when you're 3-0 up? 3-0 to enjoy the game. We're winning 3-0. Why get someone sent up on purpose? It's ridiculous.
I hasten to add, Ivan Toney won't be the only one who's done that. There'll be plenty of other footballers that have done that.
There's probably Sunderland players do it, but if they do, I don't agree with it. It shouldn't be even in football.
But
these are men, not children.
Here's something I'll do. I'll throw this at you. If a Sunderland player did it and it contributed to us winning, would you be as animated about it?
Well,
by the way, because before
obviously not, but I'd be really disappointed in the player who done it because he shouldn't be doing it. Like,
I mean, have you noticed that our players, for example, like a lot of teams, whenever our players make a tackle, they're always bang right in the referee's ear, trying to really get someone sent off. Now, I hate stuff like that. And I wouldn't particularly want us to do it, but the attitude I've reached is, well, if everybody else does it,
that's
why shouldn't we?
Fair point.
Why shouldn't we make it a level playing field if the EFL aren't going to do anything about it?
Right, the referee shouldn't be so soft, man. Man up a bit, didn't they?
Let's be fair, the referees are terrible in this league.
Yesterday's was horrendous.
McNulty must have been in a headlock about 10 times. He was just grabbing him in the headlock, and the referee's not giving anything. It's like, is this wrestling or football, man? How way? If I can see it, how can he not?
That's the linesman even, or whatever.
I mean, even though people say like, oh, it's referees in lower leagues, they don't know that. No, they're still professional referees. They're still employed by the FA and the EFL to referee professional games. You should be able to know what's what.
So predictions last week, I'm sure I predicted 3-1 to Sunderland. I think that was 10 points to me. What about yourself?
You won 3-1, yeah.
You two lads.
I said 2-2.
No, you did not.
On the way down. Oh, you talking about this game?
No, on the panel. He said on the panel last time. I said 2-2.
On the corner, on the way down, you went for us to win. You went for us to win.
I said 2-1 because I knew we'd concede. He said when he said 3-0, I went, what do you think? I
didn't really think much into it, to be honest. On the way down, we're just trying to put a video on.
So which prediction are you going with here? Are you going with 3-0 or 2-2?
No, what I said was I'd done the 2-2 prediction on the panel last time, but on the way down the car I said 3-0.
But which is your official prediction? I'm going to get an answer.
Well, obviously 3-0, so it'll be closer.
Right, so we move on to Rotherham on Tuesday night. Rotherham absolutely smashed Bolton 6-1 yesterday, and Paul Warren's team. I mean, Paul Warren, I think it's the first team he's managed, and I think he's born in Norwich. And he played for over 260 games for Rotherham and scored over 30 goals. So he's a massive Rotherham fan. Clearly, he loves the club, doing a fantastic job at this moment in time for Rotherham. It's going to be a really difficult match. I think it's going to be the hardest home match of the season so far. So, Michael, what's your thoughts on the Rotherham match coming up?
Completely agree with what you've just said. I think that, Pompey, obviously, I said before we played Pompey, that would be the most difficult game we've had so far this season. But yeah, look, Rotherham are just
harder than Ipswich.
Sorry?
Harder than Ipswich?
For home match.
Home game.
Home game. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Dean, listen.
Sorry.
Come on. No, Rotherham, they're full of quality, aren't they? I mean, even though they got relegated last year, they're a team that know how, for the most part, how to get up out of League One. So, they've got Freddie Ladapo as one example. And I said it in the car with you two on the way back. Freddie Ladapo was someone I was really wanting Sunderland to sign in the summer because he knows where the goal is, he's got pace, the type of goals he gets are different, it's a different option up front. So naturally, we didn't go for him. So therefore, he's probably going to score against us.
He scored twice yesterday.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? So I really rate Ladapo as a player, but Rotherham play a very good passing, pressing style of play, and I think we're going to find it a very hard game tomorrow night. What do you think?
Tomorrow night.
Tuesday night.
Either way, go on.
Is it Ladapo or is it Ladipo?
Ladapo.
I like saying Ladipo, it's much more. Alan, Sean, what's your thoughts on the match?
I think obviously Rotherham winning, getting 6 goals. I think the game before that they scored a few as well.
No, the game before, I think they lost 2-1 at Doncaster. They were 1-0 up in
I
that.
think they'll be coming on Tuesday, and I think they'll be full of confidence. And I think they'll get our faces, and I think if we not had it, they could easily turn us over on Tuesday night.
How will our defenders, keep the likes of Ladipo at bay?
I'm not going to be able to get over that. Go on, Dean.
I think too many people are looking at the 6-1 like they're 15th in the league. They're not doing well. They're 15th in the league. They've just scored 6 against Bolton, but who hasn't put that many goals past Bolton?
Well, just in a week time, us. In a week's time, us.
To be honest, we should be winning that game easy.
I think,
sorry, I might be disrespectful. I mean, if we want to go up,
what you said about Rotherham is accurate, but to be fair to them, they have had 2 games postponed.
Have
they were meant to play Bury, which obviously isn't happening now, and they were meant to play Portsmouth, and there was some festival going on in Portsmouth that meant that game couldn't go ahead.
But who else have they played though?
Okay, Bolton, Doncaster, off the top of my head, Wimbledon. I'm trying to think what else. Burton possibly, but I'm not sure. I might be wrong on that actually.
So they've played them games in the 15th in the league. Sorry, we should be beating them easy. Sorry.
Would you play the same side, Dean, as Saturday? Or would you change something or what? I know you would change the defence a little bit, but would you keep the same midfield forward line?
Would you change the defence? Because who would come in? Lynch. He might not be fit. So
as in right back, would you do what you said? Put Conor McLaughlin right back?
It's one of them, innit? Because obviously you don't change a winning side, do you? Do you know what I mean? But if you bring 09 out, it'd knock his confidence because he's not playing badly, but he's not playing amazingly. He's just been stuck in that position. So do you change it, and then it might make all the back 4 go to pot? Do you know what I mean?
I think you'll keep the same team. Personally, I think keep the same team for the same formation, 4-2-3-1. I think it'll be a really tough game. And now you were saying you think we'll win easy, but I disagree. No game's easy. No game's easy. But we should be, if we want to get promoted and be up there, we want to win that game.
Sure, then Rotherham could argue the exact opposite. They could say that if we want to go up, we should be going to Sunderland and getting a win.
But no, did anyone tip Rotherham to be up there though?
I did.
Everyone said Ipswich.
I thought they'd be in the top.
I think they'll be in the top 6. Rotherham, trust me, Rotherham are a rival for promotion this year. I'd be very surprised.
I think I said 4th. I fancied 4th.
Something like that. Rotherham will be up there.
Do you think they're going to finish in the top 16?
No, I don't. I think Peterborough will be up there. Portsmouth, obviously, they're not playing very well now.
Written all over it.
What's that?
you're just down putting Rotherham down. It's like they're gonna. I know they're gonna come up.
You've got to be confident in every game if you want to go up. You've got to win every game, and they want a 100-point season.
I mean, as we're at home, especially. Yeah,
when you win games, and then obviously try and.
So would you change the formation to keep it the same after yesterday's results? As you saw how we sat back in the second half and we couldn't put more than 3 goals away and how we let a goal in early on. Would you keep the same formation?
I would, because I think you play 4-4-2 against them, being more open. You know what I mean? I think I would play the Jack Ross formation 4-2-3-1. I would actually in this game.
Would you change Ledbetter?
Or
Legs?
I would be McGee because I thought Ledbetter was terrible yesterday. He was giving the ball away all the time.
He can't play down now and again, but his passing was, to be honest, most of the lads' passing was really off. It really was. Even McGee's was off. Sometimes it just feels like there's no chemistry at times, and then McNulty scores, and it was unbelievable. The
build up with the goal.
Do you know what I mean? It's one of that. It just depends if we turn up.
Michael, formation and team.
Same formation. I think for defence, you've just got to keep it the same. I think defence, especially centre-backs, is the one thing that you need consistency among most. Because if you keep on changing everything, then it's not going to help. And especially for a team that have got the threat of what Rotherham have got, it is going to be very, very difficult. So you need to keep that formation the same for me. I think, actually, funny enough, I would have took Ledbetter out and saved him for Bolton, because I think against Bolton, as much as they've obviously assembled pretty much a new 11 by the looks of it, Ledbetter's more experience against less experienced players, you'd like to think for Bolton, or more disjointed for Bolton on Saturday. I think he'd be quite suitable for that game. So for me, I'd put Power in against Rotherham, because I think he's got the tough physicality and no nonsense sort of thing. And I think we need that to break down what Rotherham are going to throw at us.
Is that another dilemma? I think this season what Jack Ross has obviously done with the captaincy. I mean, last season it was George Honeyman was the captain. Obviously, if he's not playing very well, can you drop your captain? I mean, Ledbetter, you look at when he picked the captaincy, I'm thinking, is that the right thing to do? You know what I mean?
True. I mean, to be fair, that last season it wasn't Honeyman's fault, and this season it won't be Ledbetter's fault. So we need to stop giving them abuse for it, because it's really starting to get on my nerves. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I think, just because you have captaincy doesn't mean you should be playing every game.
What I'm saying is, obviously, could he not have picked that and that? Somebody's going to play every game, maybe say Jordan Willis.
Well, yeah,
You
he's
would
a good
imagine-
shout because he was captain for Coventry, wasn't he?
I mean, because you're picking Ledbetter now, and that, to me, I used to like Ledbetter when he was there the first time, and he went Middlesbrough. I thought he was really good. But his better days is gone now, like for me. Like,
Oh, you mad mistake. You're asking these questions. What do you think? Do we keep the same? Do we change?
Well, I think I would bring Max Power in. I would rest Ledbetter. I think obviously 2 games in 3 or 4 days for someone at the age of 33. I know he's fit. Obviously he's a fit lad, but these games will catch up eventually. And bring Ledbetter back in for the Bolton match. I'd like to play Conor McLaughlin at right back. I believe in keeping the right backs, and you know, I love Luke O'Nien to bits. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think maybe he should be him or Gooch. Maybe should start on the bench, and then one of them should be replaced at half time or when one gets tired. But I think you have to give Conor McLaughlin a chance. He's a quality player. He plays for his national side. He's played for the championship side. He just needs to be put in the right position. Yeah. Never played there all season apart from one match. I think it was a cup match and we won. So, I mean, you kind of keep on putting square pegs in round holes for me. But if you change the side and then we do lose against Rotherham, people are going to say, why have you changed the winning side? So it's, you know, it's one of those decisions.
Catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah, it's catch-22.
So I suppose the opposite's applying, isn't it? That if we play the same team and lose it, people go, why didn't you change it? It's easy to point to these
why
things.
Why do you think he's not playing Conor McLaughlin right back? What do you think the reason is behind?
Because he's not very good.
I think he just likes O'Nien. I think O'Nien brings a lot to the team. He brings his energy, but obviously, like Dean said, O'Nien in the centre of the park might be something good in the future, you know.
I think his defensive side of the game, obviously, though, is a bit suspect. O'Nien right back, I think that's where he gets caught out. He just gets caught out a lot. I mean, yesterday, how many times he made a few mistakes?
He was coming too centre. He wasn't. He was coming too far into the centre.
Covering that right back position.
I mean, in fairness, like I said with McLaughlin, if you play him at right back, he might actually do all right.
He might. He
hasn't
even been given the chance. That's what I'm saying. If he plays him and he's put in position, we might say Conor McLaughlin might
I would counter that though, that he has been given a chance in a few. I know it's different positions, so yeah, that's an easy fair enough. But in the games that he's played, especially with Rochdale, everyone kept targeting his side over and over and over again. Why would they be doing that?
Because obviously he's obviously right foot and he's playing left back. It's obviously, you know,
but even then, like I said though, you should be able to deal with your man and get close to your man and stop a cross. Positionally doesn't matter in that sense. You should be able to do that job.
That's true. Like, but I just
At the minute,
would anybody start Will Grigg?
Nah, he doesn't. He's not like McNulty. He doesn't do what McNulty does. McNulty's a nuisance. Nobody wants McNulty chasing them. McNulty's got more pace. He's obviously got more experience because he's played in the championship.
Would you start them both?
That would require a change of the formation, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Do
Unless
you go to a front?
Unless you play McNulty in the Gooch role and play Grigg up front.
I don't know, because McNulty didn't have the best game when he played against Peterborough.
No,
and he was on the wing.
And just to point it out, Wyke's back from suspension, I think.
Is he?
I think I'm sure he got 2 yellows against Peterborough, so that should only be a 1-game ban.
Do you start him though? McNulty scored on the weekend. Do you start him?
Do you actually? Yeah, I probably would start Wyke.
I think he's better as an impact player, because once you've got someone running round and the centre backs being proper and that, and then you've got to deal with Wyke when he comes on. You know,
that's a fair argument. Yeah, I think it depends on who you're playing. For me,
well, what would you go with?
What, like striker wise?
Would you stick McNulty in because he scored?
I'm probably most inclined to stick with McNulty, because obviously you try and keep it the same as possible from the last game that obviously we won. So I wouldn't be against having Wyke in there as well, but you know, we'll wait and see what happens. Hope, you know, I would stick with McNulty personally if I had to pick one out of the lot of them.
When we play against the lesser sides in the future at home, would you kind of like play 4-4-2 against the poorer sides, or would you stick with what he's doing now?
Against poorer sides, I'd go for it.
Why
not?
4-4-2.
Why not?
100%.
Wyke and McGeady, Wyke and McNulty up front.
Why
not?
Chuck Grigg in there now and again. Like I didn't agree with him bringing on the last 15 minutes because it's hard to make an impact in 15 minutes. So maybe say we go 2-0 up in the first half, then bring him on, give him a half to see what he can do. You might get a goal, you might not, but getting a goal in the last 15 minutes is like bringing him on bringing him on yesterday with like 15 minutes to go. How many there was? We're not going forward. We're sitting back, so you can't really affect the game, can he?
Right, we'll go to score predictions, and Sean, what's your score prediction for Tuesday night and then Saturday against Bolton?
Right, I'll go for 2-2.
2-2 against Rotherham?
Yeah.
And then against Bolton?
4-0.
4-0. Dean?
Well, we're definitely going to concede. So for me, 2-1 against Rotherham. maybe 3-1, but I'm going to stick with 2-1 because that seems to be what we normally get at home. And then Bolton, we won't keep a clean sheet. That's a fact. We won't.
That's pretty much the attitude.
We've got to keep
we
a
won't
clean
keep
sheet against
We won't keep a clean sheet, but for me, I'll go 3-1 because after we get two goals, we won't go for it.
No,
so
that's a good point, that, you know.
Yeah.
And I might say 4-0, but I just think everybody seems to be scoring a lot of goals against Bolton. I'm thinking, you know, if we kind of get at least 4, and everybody else being at 5s and 6.
Well, you think they scored against Rotherham, and the Rotherham are supposed to be this team who are going to be up there, so they can't score goals.
Well,
and
Michael?
we lose them.
Okay, you're going to think I'm really negative for these next 2 games, actually. I before Accrington, I was looking at our next 5 games, and I predicted, I think, 10 points from 5, but the next 2 are the 2 we're not going to win for me. So I think we're going to draw against Rotherham, like 1-1. And you know what it is, we keep putting down Bolton. I know Bolton obviously have signed new players, but I think that's got Bolton's first win written all over it. That's the annoying thing.
Imagine, man.
Sunderland, please prove me wrong. Please.
Imagine if we get beat off them. If we get beat off them, we top 2 might as well say goodbye.
I'm just gonna go 2-1 Bolton. I'm sorry, I can see them beating us. I can see us not being at the races, and not taking them as seriously, and then they'll be end up hitting.
I see this game on Tuesday being like when we beat Barnsley last season at home in November. I'm going to go for a 4-2 home victory against Rotherham. Nice. And then away to Bolton, I'm going to say 3-1 away. I think it was, you'd say 3-1, Dean? I think 3-1 away. I think it's going to be the same.
Bolton, I said 3-1. I said back.
Very quickly though, like, it's good that Bolton have been rescued though by
definitely.
Quality.
Just think where them were once, man.
Yeah,
I mean, Europa League.
I know. And you look at what happened to Bury. You don't want that to happen to any club, really. So
Bolton's got a nice stadium as well.
Good support.
Them used to be
as well.
up there. Them used to be really
Premier
good.
League,
Big Sam, they have JJ Kocher, Joy Gaev, Ivan Campo, and you look at them now.
So
and you think,
any Bolton fans watching, I hope you lose twice against Wood, but good luck for the season.
they're not staying up, not with the points deduction. Imagine Sunderland starting with how many was it? 15 points.
Minus 12 points.
Was it 12? Was it?
Yeah, we're on minus 11 now.
I mean,
it would take a lot for them. They have to gel together very quickly to have a chance.
So when we beat Bolton 4-2, when we beat Rotherham 4-2 at home on Tuesday night, would anybody change the system for the Bolton match and change the personnel, or would you keep it the same again?
Come back to me on Tuesday night.
I'll go 4-4-2 against Bolton. Not being disrespectful, I just think, you know, I think there's a chance there to score a few goals, and I think if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, it's still a bit negative. I think play with 2 strikers.
You've got to go for it more against Bolton. There's a chance
I would
there.
probably go 4-3-3.
That's what Jack played at St Mirren.
Yeah.
When Stuart Donald first announced him, he said, "Oh, this manager's going to be playing excellent football, attacking football." We played attacking football.
But it's like the argument he said: if we're not going to keep a clean sheet, then you may as well try and go for it and score as many as you can.
So I think 4-3-3 would be best. I do.
Something attacking minded, not like, you know, a negative sort of system. Do you know what I mean?
But then again, if he plays that way and you win the next 2, then
that's fair.
It can change like that.
Yeah,
it can change very quickly. So,
is everybody 100% confident this takeover is going to go through?
No, I'm not. No? I'm not. No, I don't know why. But
I'm trying to think about it. Like you just hope something happens next week. They were saying like last week they were saying like, oh, it's going to happen back into the week, and now they're saying next week.
Yeah, but the takeovers that happen are the ones that you don't hear about.
Yeah.
Well, for me, this one, I think there is something in this one, but it's gonna. But look what happened with Bolton and Bury. If it takes longer, so be it. And even if they came in now, are we going to see the money? If in terms of players, we can't see the money till January anyway.
Exactly.
So for me, if it take as long as you need to take, as long as it gets done.
That's why it's taken so long. I think they're looking under every stone,
They've got
every looking cranny, in every cupboard, any skeletons in the cupboard. They want to get things spot on. I think this takeover. I think it will happen. I think it's just a matter of time. But there's no rush.
So my message to fans: just keep it cool, and I think it will happen eventually.
Patience.
Will they keep Donald? Do you reckon they'll keep Dolan and Memphin on?
Yeah. It's already been reported. It's already been suggested that they're going to.
They're still going to do the day one under the club.
Like I say, if those 2 stay on, that's the biggest thing to come out of this for me.
Definitely, because what they've done is amazing. What they've done,
exactly.
Now they've changed everything.
Couldn't put it better myself.
Change the seats.
Couldn't put it better.
I think they will keep them on for this season, but in long term, I'm not quite sure what they'll have a vision of their own vision who they want.
We've got to get out of this league first and foremost. One step at a time.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. Please subscribe to the SAFC Fan TV, like the channel, like this comment, and a big thanks to these lads. Well done, Dean. First time you've been on the show. Nice one.
Thank you very
much. Nice one, Sean. And Michael, top job.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching. Like I said before,
watching, everyone.
Please subscribe to the channel. Much appreciated. And leave a comment down below.
Subscribe
Catch
to
us
all of our
later.
channels. Subscribe to our channels as well.
Subscribe to my Twitter account.
What's your Twitter account called?
Just Sean Middleton Twitter.
Sean Middleton on Twitter. Nice one. Top interviewer. Hidden gem.
He is, man.
Brilliant
Dedicated.
find this season, Sean Middleton.
Cheers, man.